Most people think building wealth comes from giant paychecks or some massive windfall. You know, the I started a startup in my garage and sold it to Apple type of story. But for me, it came from tiny, almost boring habits I repeated over and over again. Think of it like compound interest version of your daily life. Small things that barely feel like they matter in the moment, but over years, they completely transform your bank account. So today I thought it'd be fun to share 18 tiny habits that made me rich. And no, winning the lottery didn't make the list. Hi friends, welcome back. I'm Diane. I am a wealth strategist, mom of two, and someone who's spent 15 years advising everyone from the World Bank to private equity firms on money and strategy. And here's the truth. The habits that built my wealth are the same ones anyone can use. They don't require a finance degree, a Wall Street connection, or a trust fund. Just consistency, patience, and a little bit of stubbornness. So grab your coffee and let's dive in. The first habit is paying myself first. Before I pay bills, before I think about rent or groceries, I pay my future self first. Automatic transfers to investments, and the savings happen the moment my paycheck lands. Why? Because if I wait until the end of the month to save, what's left? There's probably nothing. A 2023 Vanguard report found that people who automate savings end up 20 to 30% more than those who rely on willpower. It's like setting Netflix to skip the intro. You don't debate it, it just happens. This habit changed everything. Once I got very clear about my numbers, then I knew what to work towards. So you could do this once a month or once a quarter. I open my spreadsheets and I see my assets and my liabilities and to track my net worth because this gives me a financial snapshot of how I'm doing overall. And if you need a net worth tracker, the link is in the description box below. Basically, without understanding your net worth, it's like basically driving blind across the country. Even if your net worth is negative, tracking it is like stepping on the scale. You might not like the number, but if you don't know it, you can't improve it. So friends, if you're interested in all the things about money and how to organize your money and whether you're on track or not, I have this free personal rich score quiz that you can check out. Link is in the description box below. I don't binge read 500 pages in one night. I read 10 pages a day. That's 3,500 a year, or about 10 to 12 books without feeling like I'm cramming for finals. Some of my favorite books includes The Psychology of Money, and I think that this really transformed my relationship with money and how I thought about money. The next book that I really love too is The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. This is like mindset, business, investment, and it's basically a collection of all the things that he's said through his tweets and like all the things he said online, all put together by Eric Jorgensen. Great read. Mindset by Carol, fantastic on parenting, business, school, relationships. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I think over the years, there has been a lot more controversy over his methodology and his approach. But I think one big thing that you want to take away is basically assets and liabilities and understanding basically assets that put things into your pocket, liabilities that take money away out of your pocket, and that the rich don't work for money. Fantastic book. Last but not least, one of my favorite books of all time, The Alchemist. If you haven't read it, please do read it. It's a very empowering book. And it basically shares the treasure in your life. Read it. Avoiding lifestyle creep. This is basically what you call keeping up with the Joneses. Every time my income went up, I resisted the urge to go full new car, new wardrobe, new everything. I did allow myself some fun, obviously. Some of the things that I really love is just coffee. So I went and made some investments in coffee for things that would just make me, I think, feel a little bit happier on a day-to-day. The key here is to not overly spend because I believe that the more you make, it's very easy to spend more and you're just running faster on the same treadmill. So we're trying to run towards freedom and not run towards fancier bills. The next is cooking at home most nights. It's not glamorous, but it's effective. Don't get me wrong, buying food is expensive, especially when you shop at certain stores. But what I realize is we get more bang for our buck, especially as a family when we cook meals at home. And so every week, rather than thinking about like extravagant dinners, I think making homemade food that is healthy really helps. So money isn't your only currency. Your focus, health, and energy is just as much. So meditating 10 minutes a day, drinking water, and staying sharp, eating real food instead of like processed foods makes the difference. And an HBR article found that people who manage their energy through nutrition, rest, and mindfulness are about 28% more productive. And that alone makes me excited. So that means more career wins, more income, and fewer burnouts driven by bad money decisions. Call it compounding returns for your brain. I negotiate salaries, bills, and even my internet rate. Yes, it works. In a 2022 Fidelity study found that 85% of people who asked for a raise got at least something, yet most people never ask. And so what I'm saying is, I think everything in life is negotiable. Treat life like that and where you can. When I want to buy something big, it goes on my buy list here. If I still want it after like 5 days, 10 days, basically I put it on a 30-day list. And if I still want it, then maybe I will get it. But oftentimes after 30 days, I don't want it anymore. So that's another trick that I use. When there's a windfall of money, say there's a tax refund, a bonus, a surprise check, I don't go shopping and spend all of it. I invest it. Basically, wealth is built in those moments when you don't splurge, but you pretend like you never got it and just put it away. Driving cars longer, I don't swap cars every 3 years, and I know people that do, and power to you, but I don't do that because cars depreciate in value and cars are very expensive. So I am not a car enthusiast by any means, but I know people are, and I think just a basic car to get you from A and B is like, I'm perfectly happy with that. Housing is one of the biggest expense for most people, and it's where people most overextend. In terms of mortgage and rent, keeping your basically mortgage and rent anywhere between 25 to 30% basically frees up your money so you can do more with your money, such as investing. And that is really key to saving money. Having money reset days. I still have no spend days, but now they're money reset days. On these days, I don't just avoid spending. I review my finances, tidy up my budget, and check in on other goals. So it's like a spa day for the bank account and as well as my life planning. I'm no HGTV star, but knowing how to fix a few things around the house has saved my money. Like painting a room has saved me hundreds. I've learned to paint very well. And I use YouTube basically to watch anything on how to do something around the house. So even with a pretty stable main income, I've kept side hustles throughout my life, consulting, online projects, small investments. And these multiple streams meant multiple safety nets. So if one dries up, I'm not panicking, I'm pivoting. And that's the mindset that I think is very important to have. Everything's on auto payment, no late fees, no stress, and happy credit scores. Life gets busy, bills don't get forgotten. I treat my money like a business, goals, targets, action plans. So every year I set short and long-term goals, from things for my kids to our retirement planning. I would immediately tell anyone to get out of, which is high interest debt, credit cards, payday loans. It's like expired sushi. It'll ruin you fast. So there's no faster way to undo years of smart moves than to get trapped into paying 21% APR. So get out of high interest debt as soon as possible. Last but not least, you become the people you spend the most time with. So when you're around people who talk about more opportunities, the glass is half full. And that's not to say that the glass is half empty, because you should hear different perspectives. But being around like-minded individuals towards something that you're very passionate about, I think makes a very big difference. So these are 18 habits that might seem small on their own, but they stack up. And I think over time compound into something very powerful. Wealth isn't built just by one thing only. It's basically a combination of things. Friends, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.